Good morning. Today we begin our spiritual journey to a loving Father. And I hope that this will be part of us becoming friends and become part of your family, part of your own journey. But there's a wonderful passage in which Jesus cures Peter's mother-in-law. Then he gets about and he cures all kinds of people that are physically, emotionally, spiritually sick. And he becomes exhausted, and he goes apart to pray. And the people find him, and they say, Jesus, stay with us. We have so many people that need your healing. But Jesus says, I cannot stay with you. The reason I came into the world was to preach the gospel. I'm sure most of you know what gospel means. It means good news. And why was it called good news? Because it's about God's unconditional love for us. That God loves us the most when we deserve it the least. You know, if we had to become perfect or we had to earn God's love, it would have been called bad news. In fact, grace means free gift. Now, why is the gospel so important in our lives? Why was it the reason why Jesus came into the world? There's nothing about each one of us that's more important than how we love. And how we love is a reflection on how we believe that God loves us. If we have a God that expects us to be perfect, so every time when we're not perfect, we'll beat ourselves up. And God help our family whenever they're not perfect, because we'll be right there to beat them up. And there's a million ways we can make people feel more guilty. I'm sure all of you have experienced the silent treatment, the icy silence, the strained voice, or how can I do this to you? How could you do this to me after all I've done for you? My dad could just give me that one look. It could send me into a weak depression. But if we do that to ourselves, we'll do that to our loved ones. But if we have a God that loves us the most, when we deserve it the least, then when our children fail us, we're going to love them the most when they deserve it the least. Not perfectly, none of us do anything perfectly, but that'll be the direction of our love. In fact, my friends, those of you that are parents, the most important aspect of being a parent is how you love your children. If you love your children the most when they deserve it the least, they're going to grow up comfortable in their own skin. They're going to have a bright smile on their face and a lot of love in their hearts, because they know they're loved. But if you raise your children with conditional love, I'll love you when you're the way I want you to be, and I'll give you the silent treatment when you're not. Your children are going to grow up afraid of their own reactions. They're going to develop on the outside, but they're going to ignore the inside. And I just ask each one of you, it's a nice reflection. If you can remember back to when you were a child, in fact, I can do that better now at my age than what I did 2 weeks ago. But if you can remember back to some of your major failures as a child, when you were going through those experiences, were you more afraid of your parents' reactions, or were you more concerned about growing from it? It makes all the difference in the world.